Takashi Yanase, the hero who tore off his face, a story of love and courage. Do you know Anpanman? It may seem like just a children's anime, but behind it lies the life of one man who was scarred by war, haunted by hunger, and devastated by the loss of his younger brother. That man's name was Takashi Yanase. He was not only a manga artist, but also a poet, an editor, a lyricist, and a stage designer. He gave us not only Anpanman, but countless poems and songs that continue to inspire, and throughout his life, he kept asking a single question. What is true justice? Childhood and brotherhood. Takashi Yanase was born in 1919 in Kochi Prefecture. His younger brother's name was Chihiro. Chihiro was cheerful, popular, and outgoing, while Takashi was quiet and introspective, different in character, yet bound by a deep bond. From an early age, Takashi loved drawing and poetry. Chihiro, bright and energetic, was his brother's role model. But their lives were torn apart by one force war and the loss of his brother. At 21, Yanase was drafted and sent to the battlefields in China. There, he saw a reality, utterly different from the righteous war he had been told about. Civilians starving, comrades collapsing, children crying out in hunger. Is this justice? He asked himself day after day. Meanwhile, Chihiro had joined the Navy and boarded a transport ship. That ship was sunk. Chihiro never returned. No remains, no keepsakes, only the news of his death. When Yanase came home and heard it, he said it felt as though his entire world had collapsed. Why did my brother die and I survived? That question never left his heart. The memory of hunger. After the war, Japan was left in ruins. Food was scarce. Children fainted from hunger in the streets. Yanase himself endured many days of emptiness and pain. It was then he swore an oath to himself. Justice means feeding the hungry. Before lofty ideals, justice is keeping someone alive. This conviction would later shape the very core of Anpanman, a hero who tears off his own face to feed the starving. Years of struggle and diverse work. Success did not come easily. For years, Yanase struggled in obscurity. He worked in stage design, advertising, magazine editing, and even wrote radio scripts. He painted posters for products, created stage backdrops, edited publications, and wrote poetry and essays. Though poor, he kept creating, determined to give people the strength to live. In the 1960s, he found another path to fame as a lyricist. He wrote the words to the famous song, "Te no hira wo taiyu ni hands to the sun." We are all alive, and that is why we sing. Only someone who had survived war and hunger could write such words. For Yanase, honoring the life flowing in every being was the essence of justice. The birth of Anpanman. It was not until after the age of 40 that Yanase published the picture book Anpanman. Unlike ordinary heroes who fought with strength, Anpanman was different. He would tear off a piece of his own face and give it to the hungry. At first, it was criticized as too plain or even frightening for children. Publishers hesitated, but slowly children embraced it. Yanase explained, "A hero doesn't need to be strong. A true hero is someone who sacrifices himself to help others." The philosophy of justice. Throughout his life, Yanase rejected war. There is no justice in war. No one is ever made happy by it. Justice means helping those in need. These words came from what he had witnessed. The starving children in war-torn lands and the absence of his beloved brother Chihiro. His justice was never about power or dominance. It was about sustaining, protecting, and sharing life. In his final years, even in his 90s, Yanase traveled the country giving lectures. He would always begin by saying, "I hate war," and he would always end with these words, "Justice is love and courage." The message of Anpanman was none other than the story of Yanase's own life. Conclusion. Now that the morning drama Anpan has ended, we are left to reflect. Why does Anpanman tear off his face to feed others? Because Takashi Yanase had lived through war and hunger, and lost the brother he loved most. His justice was not about taking, but about giving. Not about destroying through war, but about sharing peace. From manga to songs, from poetry to stage design, all of his work carried one message: to keep others alive, that is justice. And even today, he continues to ask us, for you, is justice about power or about giving life to others? End narration. Takashi Yanase. He left us more than Anpanman. He left us a story of true justice, born out of war and hunger. Chihiro, if you had lived, I know we would have laughed together. But I survived. And so I wanted to help others for both of us. Love and courage still live on in all of us.